In a bustling city filled with towering skyscrapers and the delicious aroma of hot dog stands on every corner, life moved at a fast pace. People hurried to work, taxis honked, and the city never seemed to sleep. But in the midst of all this energy, two heroes stood out from the crowd, Magnaman and Woodman, each with their own unique powers and personalities. Magnaman, always seen in his shiny blue suit, had the incredible ability to control metal. He could pull cars out of danger, stop runaway cans with a flick of his wrist, and was always ready to lend a helping hand to anyone in need. His presence made the city feel safer. Woodman, on the other hand, wore a suit of green and brown, blending in with the trees he loved so much. He could talk to the oldest oaks and make flowers bloom in seconds, transforming dull parks into vibrant gardens. Wherever he went, nature seemed to follow. The city adored both heroes, not just for their amazing powers, but for their kindness, bravery, and the hope they brought to everyone around them. Then, one bright and sunny morning, the mayor called everyone to the city square for a special announcement. With a big smile, she declared, "We're holding a contest to find the strongest hero. The winner will receive $1 million and the city's highest honor." The crowd erupted in cheers, excitement buzzing through the streets. People couldn't stop talking about the upcoming contest, and everyone wondered who would come out on top. Magnaman and Woodman exchanged determined glances, each feeling a surge of anticipation. This was their moment to shine, to show the city what they were truly capable of. Magnaman flexed his muscles, making a nearby trash can wiggle and spin in the air, showing off his metal powers to the crowd's delight. Not to be outdone, Woodman knelt down and, with a gentle touch, made a beautiful flower sprout right from the concrete sidewalk, drawing gasps of amazement. Both heroes wanted to win, but deep down, their reasons were very different. Magnaman dreamed of building a new community center, while Woodman hoped to create more green spaces for everyone to enjoy. They shook hands firmly, each silently vowing to give it their all and make their dreams come true, no matter what. The city buzzed with anticipation as everyone prepared for the epic showdown. Posters went up, bets were made, and the excitement was contagious. Who would prove to be the strongest? Who would win the grand prize and the city's admiration? The contest stage was being set up in the heart of the city, and both heroes trained harder than ever, preparing for the challenges ahead. Soon, the arena was ready, gleaming under the sun, promising a legendary battle that would be remembered for years. The crowd gathered, buzzing with excitement, eager to witness the contest of the year and cheer for their favorite hero. The showdown of the year was about to begin, and the whole city held its breath, ready for the adventure to unfold. Magnaman's secret dream was to build the world's best playground, a magnetic wonderland for all the city's kids. Ever since he was a child himself, Magnaman had wished for a place where imagination could run wild, where every child, no matter their background, could play, laugh, and feel safe. He imagined slides of smooth metal, floating swings, and a merry-go-round that spun with a thought. The playground would be filled with inventions only a superhero could dream up, gravity-defying rides, shimmering tunnels, and secret hideouts for adventure. But special metal, safe paint, and bouncy floors cost more than a hero could afford. Every piece of equipment had to be the safest, the strongest, and the most fun. Nothing less would do for the city's children. The $1 million prize was his only chance to make this dream real. Without it, the playground would remain just a wish in his heart, never coming to life for the kids who needed it most. He pictured children laughing, flying on swings, and zipping down slides. Their joy would echo through the city, bringing hope and happiness to every corner. This playground would be his gift to the city, a place where every kid could feel like a hero. It would be a symbol of unity, a place where friendships could blossom and dreams could take flight. For Magnaman, the contest wasn't just about strength, it was about giving back. He wanted to inspire others to care for their community, to show that true heroism means lifting others up. He looked at the prize and saw a future filled with joy. In his mind, the trophy wasn't just a reward, it was a key to unlocking a brighter tomorrow for everyone. He tightened his gloves, determined to win for the children. Every challenge he faced, every obstacle, only made his resolve stronger. His dream was on the line. The city's future and the happiness of its children depended on his victory. He couldn't let the city down. The responsibility weighed on him, but it also gave him purpose. The playground meant everything to him. It was more than a project. It was a promise to every child who ever dreamed of a place to belong. He was ready to fight for it. No matter how tough the competition, he would give it his all. Nothing would stop him now. For Magnaman, this was more than a contest. It was his chance to change the world, one smile at a time. Woodman's dream was a magical greenhouse for the city, a place to grow food for anyone who was hungry. He imagined juicy strawberries in winter, sweet carrots, and a butterfly garden for everyone to enjoy. The greenhouse would need glass, rich soil, and a clever watering system, far more than his hero savings could buy. The $1 million prize was his only hope. He pictured families picking fresh food, children learning to plant seeds, and a peaceful garden for all. It would be a place of health, learning, and beauty. For Woodman, the contest was about kindness and community. He saw the prize as rows of food and flowers, a healthier city. His dream was too important to lose. He took a deep breath, ready for the challenge. The greenhouse was his legacy. He had to win for everyone who needed it. He wouldn't give up. The stadium was packed, blue and green everywhere as fans cheered for their favorite hero. The mayor stood by the giant bag of money announcing, "Let the greatest hero fight begin." Magnaman entered, waving confidently, his suit gleaming. He rattled metal signs with a flick, showing off his power. Woodman walked in calmly, flowers blooming in his wake, his quiet strength clear. The crowd oohed and awed at the spectacle. The heroes faced off, the prize between them. A whistle blew. The contest was on. For a moment they stared each other down, tension thick in the air. The city held its breath. Metal versus wood, playground versus greenhouse. The first move could change everything. The excitement was electric. The heroes were ready. The battle for the city's future had begun. The crowd roared as the showdown started. Magnaman struck first, spotting the metal goalposts. With a wave, he yanked them from the ground and sent them flying at Woodman. Woodman reacted fast, growing thick tree trunks in an X to block the attack. The crowd cheered at the clash of powers. Magnaman grinned and turned to the electronic scoreboard. He sent a storm of metal letters and numbers swirling toward Woodman. The metallic tornado buzzed around Woodman, trying to trap him. Woodman dodged, but the attack was relentless. Magnaman laughed, thinking victory was close. The blue side of the crowd cheered wildly. The magnetic mayhem was intense. Woodman was in trouble, surrounded by flying metal. The contest was heating up. Magnaman pressed his advantage. The battle was far from over. The city watched, spellbound. Woodman closed his eyes, calling on the grass beneath him. Instantly, the grass grew long and tangled the metal letters, trapping them in a green net. The crowd erupted in cheers for Woodman's clever move. Now it was his turn. He sent a vine whipping toward Magnaman. Magnaman dodged, floating above the ground using his magnetic boots. Woodman smiled and summoned an army of vines, reaching for Magnaman from every direction. Magnaman zipped left and right, barely avoiding capture. The battle became a wild dance, metal versus plant, air versus earth. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. Both heroes pushed their powers to the limit. Neither would give up. The green side of the crowd cheered louder. The fight was fierce and creative. The heroes were evenly matched. The outcome was anyone's guess. The stadium buzzed with excitement. The fight turned chaotic as Magnaman spotted the hot dog stands. He sent foil wrappers and bottles of mustard and ketchup flying, splattering Woodman's vines. The vines slipped and slid, losing their grip. Woodman frowned, but quickly called to the oak trees outside the stadium. Acorns rained down, sprouting into tiny acorn people with legs and arms. The acorn army swarmed Magnaman, tickling him and breaking his concentration. Magnaman laughed uncontrollably, floating helplessly. Woodman seized the moment, sending a strong vine to grab the money bag. He pulled hard, but the bag ripped open. Money flew everywhere. Dollar bills rained down on the field. The prize scattered. The crowd gasped at the chaos. Both heroes stared in shock. Their dreams seemed to slip away with the wind. The contest had taken a wild turn. The prize was out of reach. The heroes were stunned. The city held its breath. The stadium fell silent as money fluttered everywhere. It was a surreal sight, almost like a dream, but for Magnaman and Woodman, it was a nightmare unfolding before their eyes. Magnaman and Woodman sat, defeated, watching their dreams blow away. They had worked so hard to get to this point, and now it seemed like all their efforts were in vain. Magnaman tried to use his powers, but paper money wouldn't budge. His magnetic abilities were useless against the fluttering bills, and frustration began to set in. Woodman's vines were too gentle to gather the bills quickly. Both heroes felt hopeless. They had never faced a challenge like this before, and it was testing their resolve. Then, a little girl shouted, "Work together!" Her voice cut through the silence, and it was like a beacon of hope in their darkest moment. The heroes looked at each other, a spark of hope returning. They realized that maybe, just maybe, they could find a way out of this mess if they combined their strengths. Magnaman realized he could collect metal, and Woodman could grow sticky flowers. They began to brainstorm, their minds racing with possibilities. They rushed together, forming a plan. Determination replaced their earlier despair, and they knew they had to act fast. Magnaman summoned every paperclip in the stadium, swirling them into the air. The clips danced and twirled, creating a mesmerizing display of magnetism. Woodman grew thousands of sticky flowers across the field. The flowers bloomed in an instant, their sticky petals ready to catch the falling money. Magnaman attached a paperclip to every dollar bill. His hands moved with lightning speed, ensuring that each bill was secured. With a magnetic pull, he lifted all the money and dropped it into the bag. The plan was working perfectly, and the heroes felt a surge of triumph. The crowd cheered louder than ever. Their heroes had done it, and the stadium was filled with joyous celebration. The heroes had saved the prize. Together, their teamwork had made the impossible possible. Their teamwork had turned defeat into victory. They had learned the true power of working together. The city celebrated their unity. Banners were raised and people cheered for their heroes who had shown that collaboration could overcome any obstacle. The heroes realized something important. They understood that together, they were stronger than they could ever be alone. Magnaman and Woodman looked at the restored prize and smiled. They saw that working together was far better than fighting. "Let's share the money," Magnaman said. "A playground and a greenhouse, side by side," Woodman agreed. The crowd cheered for their teamwork. The heroes had both won. They learned that friendship and cooperation were the greatest powers of all. From that day they were not just heroes, they were super friends. The city gained a playground and a greenhouse. Children played, families ate, and everyone celebrated. The heroes' dreams came true thanks to teamwork. The city was happier than ever. Magnaman and Woodman became legends. Their story inspired everyone, and the city knew together anything is possible.